大家好，我是李天成欢迎大家收看这一次的这个天马的这个录影我们今天非常高兴有一位贵宾来到天马他是 Minseo来自 formlabs APEC 办公室的应用工程师那一会儿呢我们会请他做自我介绍以及他工作上的一些相关的内容。Would you like to introduce yourself first?
Thank you for the introduction. I am Minseo Kim. I'm from formlabs. I'm an application at APEC, and I have been working with formlabs for more than a year and a half. I am working as an application engineer. I help people to use 3D printer in their industries, in their business, to prototype, to R&D, and even manufacturing. And I am sure that people are saving their time and saving their money to 3D print their products that they need.
What would you recommend SOS or SLA printer for customers' application?
Yeah, that's a good question. SLA and SLS, both 3D printing technology, use laser to make a 3D printed part. SLA used laser to cure a liquid resin to make a 3D printed part. SLS, on the other hand, use laser to sinter a powder to make a 3D printed parts. SLA, we have a wide range of material portfolio, almost 40 different resins, so we can satisfy the customer needs. So if a customer looking into a very specific application, for example, if they need a very high temperature product, then I can recommend high temperature resin that can survive in 238 Celsius degree. And if the customer are looking for a very high loading environment, then I can recommend rigid 10K resin that can survive in a very high loading as well. So we do have a number of resins that can satisfy the customers.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, SLS, we do have some nylon powders and TPU materials. So if the customer are looking to do high functional prototyping with our nylon material and TPU, it's also possible. Or even if they are looking for production or small batch manufacturing, SLS can be a good option for them.
Cool. According to your experience, is there any scenario or some application that makes you impressed the most?
So there was one user case from South Korea. It's a company called Mandro. This company produced a robot prosthetic arm. So this company is owned by a man who has a PhD degree in computer science, and his hobby used to be a 3D printing. And then he met a guy on the internet who lost both of his hands, and he wanted to help with his 3D printing skills. And then it became his business. So he quit his job, and then he decided to help those amputation patients. And he used our formlabs nylon 12 to manufacture the robot hands. And our formlabs nylon 12 was able to 3D print very complicated geometries. And the nylon 12 has very good details in the surface. So it's possible to assemble the nylon 12 parts together. And also, in order to use in the robot hands, the motor and the torque will be applied to the robot fingers. So the nylon 12 should be able to survive from this environment as well. And the user, or the owner of Mandro, he was very happy with the prints, and he decided to manufacture the robot prosthetic arm with our nylon 12, and he's selling to help those amputation patients.
It is kind of new technology for Taiwan 3D printing market in terms of the SLS. So what's the advice you would give to the customers that has already owned the 3D SLA 3D printer or FDM 3D printer?
So the SLS 3D printing stands for selective laser sintering. So this technology has a few benefits. First of all, it uses the thermoplastic nylon powders or TPU materials. So these materials has been already used in the industries for quite long. So and it's same category as other popular thermoplastic that has been widely used, such as like ABS or PLA. So if you are developing your product or doing R&D with nylon 12 or nylon 11 powders, then it's possible to move on to the production easily because it's the same category of plastic and the same materials that they have been using in the industry. So that's the first advantage. And the second advantage is you can get the design freedom because SLS use the powder, there will be no support structures. So since there's no support structures, then you are able to print very complicated geometries and intricate geometries without any hassle. So that's second advantage. And the last is the material cost is cheaper than resin or other very industrial grade FDM filament. So the customer can produce or manufacture the products that they want at a very cheaper cost compared to other 3D printing technologies.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you just mentioned about the traditional workflow and the digital workflow. So do you have the experience to help the customer who wants to transform from the traditional to the digital workflow?
Yeah, there are many customers are trying to move from the traditional workflow to digital workflow. For example, yes. Automotive industries, medical industries, eyewear industries. So there are many industries trying to move to digital workflow. The reason is because the traditional workflow could be more costly for them, or it's not environmentally friendly, and it's time consuming, and also it's not cost effective for them. So that's why they're trying to move to digital workflow. I can give you an example. In eyewear industry, traditionally they have been using CNC machining or plastic injection molding to make eyewear frame. And if you do the CNC machining, besides the eyewear frame, the rest will be the waste. And also, if they do plastic injection molding, the mold itself is very expensive. So the manufacturer have to sell a lot of quantities to justify the cost of their mold. However, if you use 3D printer, you can 3D print the quantity that you want. You can print as small amount as you need. And also, you can get the design feedback from your customer whenever you want, whenever they want. So you can apply the new design immediately, so that you can follow the trend in the market.
Cool. Okay, I think that's all.
Thank you.
好，我们非常感谢 Minseo 这次到访台湾天马哦。那我们从他身上以及他的经验里面也学到很多。如果大家呢在看了影片之后有一些什么样的问题呢，也欢迎来电或者是留言给我们。好，那我们就下次见喽，谢谢大家。